Hello, hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your weekly forecast for January 3rd through January 9th. Happy New Year. We're going to connect here and see what messages are coming up for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You might stumble upon this video outside of the time frame I mentioned. Don't you worry. You found it when you were meant to find it, when it was time for you to hear the messages that are in it. Keep in mind, this is a general reading for the Aquarius collective. Therefore, not every single message is going to resonate. Take the ones that do. Leave the ones that don't. So without further ado, my darling Aquarius friends, let's connect and see what messages are coming up here for the Aquarius collective. So the first card that we have coming up is the Four of Wands. I can hear the squeals of joy. Now, I know a lot of people are used to watching tarot readings for love and romance. Nothing wrong with that at all. But as a result, our Four of Wands has gotten typecast as weddings and marriages. And don't get me wrong, it can definitely mean that. Some of you might be manifesting a wedding or manifesting a marriage. Some of you might be invited to some kind of get-together. Maybe it's an actual wedding that you might be on the fence about going. And this could be coming up to say, no, you should attend this. You should go for this. You should do this. Now, Four of Wands is not going to mean a party or a wedding every single time. It's not going to mean marriage every single time. It depends on what we're asking about. It depends on what the other cards are that are coming up around it. And for those of you who don't know, I do one love reading a month. I do a monthly love reading. I have that linked in the description of this video. And then every week I do a weekly forecast where we talk about everything other than love. Because there's a lot of love readers out there. It's very thoroughly covered. So I like to try to give everybody a chance to have a reading where it's just about them. It's not about relationships. It's not about other people. It's about you, your journey, your healing, your path, messages that Spirit has for you. So the Four of Wands can come in to give us a feeling or a sense of stability, security, stability, abundance, long-term happiness, friends who are like family, having a circle, being a part of a community. The Four of Wands can also sometimes come up when there's some sort of a homecoming, when you might be thinking of going back home or visiting where you grew up, and this being a significant time for you, that you get to see how far you come. You get to realize how much you've advanced, how much you've grown, how much you've changed, that maybe you're not giving yourself enough credit for where you're at. And so there could be some kind of trip like this where some of you are having this realization. But for many of you, you're manifesting security, stability, but not just the security and the stability, but a sense of home and a sense of belonging. People that you vibe with, people who celebrate with you, people who are happy for you. This is a sense of togetherness. Your wants and needs being met, being in happy times. The next card that's coming up for Aquarius is the Six of Wands. And Six of Wands indicates victory. It's overcoming obstacles, overcoming challenges. Some of you might have worries or concerns about how you're being perceived in your community. Maybe some of you have worries or concerns about whether or not you will marry because of pressure that's on you from your family, or because you might feel that people are saying bad things about you or speaking negatively about you, and you're concerned that it's impacting your relationship to the point where you're not going to marry. I know that might sound like a weird thing for me to say for a lot of people, especially those of us, born and raised in the United States. But a lot of cultures, there's a lot of pressure about marriage. Marriage is still something that's really, really emphasized. Like, it's shameful or it's embarrassing if you don't get married. And then people are always talking and in each other's business. So if somebody has a bad reputation, then that can definitely harm their chances of, finding a partner or settling down. And so I feel some of you might have this fear or this worry that there's this negative talk, because sometimes the Six of Wands comes up for me to say that people have been talking bad about us, or there's been some kind of misinformation going around. And so the Six of Wands is vindication. You're being vindicated. You're being validated. The truth is being revealed. The truth is being revealed. Maybe some of you left a place to start over because someone was really tarnishing your reputation or your name, and you're being vindicated, you're validated, you're finding out that the truth has come out, and now people know this person has been lying. They've been saying about you the things that they've been doing, and that's being revealed and that's being seen. If you are doing anything in terms of self-employment, the Six of Wands can indicate that you're going to be receiving a lot of business through word of mouth. You're not going to have to put in a lot of money for advertising or commercials or billboards. You may find that you're receiving a lot of business from word of mouth. And for some of you, it's from something like forever ago. It still happens for me from time to time. It's been quite some time since I've done readings in person. But every so often I'll get an email or I'll get a message and somebody will say, hey, my friend got a reading from you 3 years ago and I've been meaning to schedule with you. Can I still come by your office in Eagle Rock and like come see you for a reading? And I'm like, oh wow, well, I'm not at that office anymore. And I'm not doing in-person readings anymore, but if you'd like to schedule a reading, here's the link. It still happens to me from time to time where a referral will come in from forever ago. I read for somebody one time at like a party when I was first starting out, and they told that person about me, and that person reached out to me. So some of you might be having referrals coming in from people that you did something for them a long time ago. You provided a service for them, or you sold to them a long time ago, and now all of a sudden they have friends or family who are coming to see you. And overall, that word of mouth business is extending, it's increasing, it's repeating. So you might be finding that your roster is beginning to fill up, your clientele is beginning to fill up, and it's all coming in through word of mouth. Your work is speaking for itself. Some of you may be featured in an article or in some kind of post online where you're getting exposure for your talents, your gifts, your abilities, the services that you provide. This could be beating out the competition for a request for business or some kind of promotion or a raise. But overall, the Six of Wands comes in with this victorious energy. Victory, overcoming challenges, overcoming difficulties, standing above the rest, standing out of the competition, beating the competition. The next card that's coming up here for you, Aquarius, is the Five of Swords, right? So in this truth being revealed, in these victories, it's going to play out in a couple of different ways for different ones of you. Keep in mind, this is a general reading. You're not all going to have the same exact circumstance. You'll have the same energy, but the way the energy plays out in your life is going to be different. It's not going to be identical for every single person. So the Five of Swords plays out in two ways for me in my readings. The first way is the burning of bridges, right? We all know Five of Swords is the battle and the burning of bridges. So as truths are being revealed, as you have these change and these triumphs coming in, there may definitely be negative or toxic people that you are completely cutting off, right? Especially when the truth is being revealed about somebody who's been lying or trying to tarnish your name, your reputation. You may be burning some bridges, and it's done. And it may not just be you. It might be If it's a business situation, it could be other colleagues. It could be another like colleagues or business acquaintances that you have or that you network with that are kind of rallying with you and saying, oh no, they're shady, we're not going to do business with them either, right? It could be like a banding together. It could be members of your family stepping up and saying, you know what, Aquarius, sorry, we really thought that you were being overly sensitive about this situation, or we thought that surely this was a misunderstanding between you and this other family member. But man, this is major. Like, sorry, we didn't know, we didn't see it, but now the truth is out, and we're not going to talk to that person either. We don't need that kind of negativity. We don't need that kind of hatefulness. So it might not only be a bridge that you're burning. You may be very surprised that you have support in burning the bridge, and others are burning their bridge with this person or situation in solidarity with you, which is not typically a message I get from the Five of Wands. I'm the Five of Swords, but I'm feeling that there's like this solidarity, burning of bridges in solidarity with you. The second way the Five of Swords pans out when I see it come up in readings is when you're dealing with a negative or toxic person that wants to control how you're going about doing things, and they know you very well. They've studied you very well. They know you very well. They know what your sensitivities are. They know what your insecurities are, and they know which buttons to push to get you to do what they want you to do, right? So let's say that you're having a healthy boundary with this person, and you're giving them this boundary, and they don't want to live by that boundary. They don't want to have boundaries, but they know that you feel bad because growing up people made you feel like you're an ungrateful person. And so they start coming in that they're very hurt about this boundary, and they don't understand why you don't trust them, and they don't understand why you're putting this rule on them when they've done so much for you. What about the time I did this for you? What about the time I did that for you? I'm always doing this. I'm always doing that. I feel like you never appreciate anything that I do, and I'm so hurt. And they start pushing that button of that part of you that's been shamed or made to feel like you don't appreciate anything, like you're ungrateful. And they do it so that you can say, okay, fine, forget about it. Sorry I brought it up. Forget the boundary, right? They know which button to push to get you to do what they want you to do. And now that you have these successes coming in, you're getting this stability, you're having people and friends who are supportive of you, who are rallying around you, who are celebrating you, they might feel very threatened by this. So now they might start pushing your buttons or your insecurities to sabotage your success, to trip you up so that they can hold on to you, so that they don't lose you. They may say or do things to try to keep you in your place or cut you down to size, keep you from getting too confident. Pay attention when you start to feel sad, when you start to feel hurt, when you start to get triggered in this way. Pay attention to when this happens, and instead of responding to this person, see if you can step away and journal about it, write about it. What happened? Who was involved? What did they say? What did they do? How did it make me feel about myself or about my life or the situation? When else in my life, earlier on in my life, has somebody made me feel this way before? What did they say? What did they do that made me feel this way? Why do I think these people are doing these things to make me feel this way? Like, what is the end game here? Why are they doing this? Then write out a release and a forgiveness of that person. Release them from any expectation. Forgive them for the, unhealthy or toxic survival mode that they're in. Release them of expectation. Forgive yourself for anything you're blaming yourself about or harshly criticizing yourself about. Release yourself from those criticisms or those judgments, and then write out how you're choosing to feel about yourself and about the situation from now on moving forward. If you can do this, the triggers will no longer exist. You'll never, ever, ever have to deal with them again. They'll be done and gone once and for all. So that person or anybody else can push those buttons a zillion times. Nothing. They're inactive. They don't work anymore. You've deprogrammed them. So even though it sucks that somebody's doing this to you, this is an opportunity to gain a lot of power and to gain immunity to those manipulations. The next card that's coming up here for Aquarius is the Judgment card, and this is a Major Arcana card. The Major Arcana cards are going to come up a lot of the times when we're in this new chapter. The situation that we're dealing with is directly connected to what we came here to experience, what we came here to accomplish, what we came here to master. And the Judgment card can have a lot to do with answering a calling or feeling pulled or called in a certain direction. But the Judgment card also comes up for me a lot of the times in readings when you're trying to pull somebody up to your level. You're trying to heal them. You're trying to help them. You know, they don't see, they're being negative, they're being toxic, and you're trying to kind of help them and bring them up to where you're at. In my experience, it's always the opposite that happens. We never bring the person up to our level, but if we keep messing with them, eventually they're dragging us down into the mud with them. So you might be finding yourself at this kind of a crossroads where you're like, I have to burn this bridge. I have to disconnect from this energy, because if I don't, they're going to pull me back into the mud. I don't want to be back into the mud. I don't want to be back there in this situation. For some of you, you're burning that bridge and this person is begging you for another chance, especially now that other people are seeing the truth about them and there are other people who are disconnecting from them or burning the bridge from them. They cannot handle it. It's driving them nuts. And they might be begging you. They need, like, you're the person who has the power to save them from this hell. Because if you can forgive them, then everybody else has to forgive them too. And that is a decision some of you might have to make here. Like, do I believe this person's sincerity? Do I believe they've really changed? But if the Judgment card is coming up for me in my readings, that tells me you guys are on different paths. And you should be okay and confident and listening to your intuition and, you know, having taken the steps that you took. You guys are on different paths in life. You're on different frequencies. And those frequencies are clashing against each other. There's a lot of static. It's not harmonious. It's not blending. It's not coexisting. It's fighting each other. So this is what's coming up here for you guys. You might want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some months or some weeks, your moon or rising might resonate more than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. The 2022 12-month forecasts are linked in the description of this video. The love readings for January are linked in the description of this video. Be sure to check those out as well. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and I'm wishing you all a wonderful week and a happy new year. Happy 2022, my dears. Take care, Aquarius.